Hey everyone, and welcome to Cozying Up with a Clear Cut, where we get up close and personal with women that inspire us. Today, I'm so excited to have Ariel Okin here. She is the founder of Ariel Okin Interiors, a full-service interior design firm based in New York City, but now services worldwide. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's so exciting because Ariel and I first met,
2010, 9?
We were interns at the Fashion Closet in Teen Vogue.
Yeah, and we sat next to each other.
Yeah. So it's been like almost 10 years, and we've come a long way.
We've come a very long way from sample pulls and credits.
Oh my God. That job sounded fancier and more impressive than it was.
Well, most internships kind of are that way.
Yeah. Was that your first internship in the city?
Yeah. And I remember I was living in NYU housing, and I was just like terrified of everything. And I didn't know how to get to Times Square. I didn't know how to go anywhere. I was completely perplexed by everything. I was in an elevator with Anna by myself, and I like almost peed my pants. It was an amazing like experience. It was like the best way to dive into living in New York.
Yeah, definitely. And what made you like want to have that type of internship? Were you always like interested in fashion and design, or?
Yeah, I sort of, I originally when I went to college, I went for journalism, and I wanted to be a fashion journalist originally. So my first year, I went for journalism, and then I also was doing art history at the same time. So I wanted to working at Vogue was like my number
Me too.
one. That was like all I wanted to do. So my first internship, I was like, of course I want to be at Condé Nast. That was the only place I wanted to be. And then as I started to try different things in the fashion world, I went to GW, so I went to college in DC, and I started to get really interested in politics and public affairs. So then I started to split my internships between public affairs and fashion. So I interned on the Hill in the Senate.
Wow, that's a big...
It was a total 180.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, it was a total 180, and I did it at the same time. So this summer, I worked in corporate communications at Prada, and I did public affairs at MTV, and I split my week. So I did like 3 days of the week at one and 3 at the other.
You were always hustling.
Yeah.
I think that's like how the mentality you need to have. Like a lot of people are just like in college and they'll find a job after, but I always wanted to like work and like figure it out.
I always wanted to, like, I didn't go to camp. I think I'm like the only
Jewish kid that didn't go to
camp. Yes,
camp.
100%.
I think so too.
I didn't. And so I went to like art day camp. I'm an only child, like raised as an only child. I have 2 older half siblings. So I went to art day camp, but then I started working when I was 13. I worked in a bookstore every summer. And then from there, I always wanted to be doing something in the real world. I didn't want to be, I don't know, I just found it more exciting.
So, how did you transition from working in fashion and politics to where you are now? Like, what were your next steps?
It was sort of this organic evolution, I would say. I did a bunch of internships in fashion and quickly realized that I liked the public affairs side more.
So when you graduated from GW, did you move straight to New York?
I did. I went to grad school at Columbia. I got my master's in strategic communication with a focus in public affairs. So I was fully planning on working on political campaigns. That's what I wanted to do.
Wow.
So I came here, and the summer before I started grad school, I went to go work for Audrey Gelman, and I was her assistant on Scott Stringer's campaign.
Audrey Gelman's the founder of The Wing.
The Wing, yes.
Wow. So she worked in politics before as well.
Yeah, so she at the time was the youngest political spokeswoman in New York State.
Whoa.
And she was such a powerhouse. She is still such a powerhouse, but I was just so amazed by everything that she was doing at such a young age. I mean, she was younger than we are now when she was his spokeswoman. And so we ran against Elliot Spitzer and we won. And that was amazing and such an amazing learning experience for me. And I think I learned more from Audrey than I did from being in grad school. So then I went to go work for her while I was in grad school. I worked at SKD Knickerbocker, which is a public affairs firm for her.
So was that her public affairs firm?
It's sort of like a democratic strategy consulting firm.
Okay.
And so when I was there, I worked on Rock the Vote's 20th anniversary rebranding campaign, and a bunch of really fun public affairs, like pro-social types of things. And then I graduated Columbia, and I ended up working in education for 3 years.
How did you get into that from like political campaigns?
So,
because I know when we met up for drinks like a few years ago, you were working at a school, right?
Yep, I was working in a school. I was working in a private school on the Upper West Side. I was doing their communications, which is such a departure from anything that I had done, but it also had sort of like threads of all the different things that I went to school for. But I ended up in education because I really liked working on the Rock the Boat campaign because I liked working with younger people. And I just sort of ended up there. And it was a great place for me, and I really liked it, but I kind of was like, this isn't my forever place. Like, this isn't what I'm doing forever. I just sort of was like, I kind of had that midlife or quarter life crisis, and I was like, what do I want to do with my career? And so I started designing for people on the side for fun, because people would come over to our apartment and be like, oh, I love your space. Like, can you help me with mine? We're moving.
So you were just like, you interior designed your own apartment because it was just kind of something you like interior aesthetics, and people would come over and they asked you for your advice?
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, I love this. Like, can you help me? I'm moving in with my boyfriend, or I'm moving into my first apartment, like, blah, blah, blah. So I would help them for free, like, just for fun.
Well, I remember, like, a few years ago, you're like, oh, if you have a room to design, like,
yeah,
I'll do it for you. And I was like, I live in, like, this crappy rental. I have nothing to design. All my furniture is IKEA.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because the first paying job I ever took was in, like, a walk-up in Harlem. And it was one room, and the paint was peeling, and it was, like, a disaster zone. And the client was so lovely and so nice. It was through Home Polish.
So, wait, tell us, like, how you got to Home Polish.
So I was designing for friends on the side.
So you were still working your full-time job at
working
the school.
My day job, and on the side, friends would just be like, can you help? And it was just purely fun. And then I started to do it more, and I realized that I really liked it. And I was spending all my time on Pinterest. I was spending all my time reading shelter magazines. I kind of fell in love with it. My mom's an interior designer, so I grew up with it. But I never thought that was something I wanted to do.
Same with me and Julie.
I know. Weird. It's so weird. I think it's like in your blood.
Yeah.
And so I I sent out a BCC email to a bunch of friends, and I was like, if you have a space for me to design, like, I'm starting to dip my toe into this, and I'm looking to shoot everything that I do. So I got a bunch of bites from that, and in exchange,
that takes a lot of, like, a hustle.
Yeah, I was kind of like,
because there's so many people that are like, oh, I like to do this, like, this would be cool, but I don't have, like, time or whatever. And you were working a full-time job, and you made time to design rooms for free.
Yeah,
to like build up a portfolio.
I wanted to build up a portfolio, so I would say, in exchange for me doing the space, like, they'll cover the cost of photography, because interior photography is expensive.
Yeah.
And so I did that for about 6 months, and then I was introduced by a mutual friend to the founder of Home Polish, and he was like, you should join us, open your own company through us, so we'll manage everything.
And what was Home Polish?
Home Polish doesn't exist anymore, but at the time it was a great idea, and it sort of was, the idea was to manage the back-end business for interior designers and help them get their business off the ground and sort of manage billing and
so would they kind of find you clients?
Yeah, so
you would have, like, your profile, like, this is my aesthetic, these are things I do, this is my rate, and then they would kind of match make you?
Yeah, so they were
and they took a cut.
Yeah. So for anybody getting their feet wet or trying to jump into the industry, it was perfect. So the timing really aligned really well for me on that. And so I joined Home Polish about 6 months into me doing interiors on the side. Then I really started to hustle, because then I started to take clients on the side, and I worked nights and weekends for 2 years.
Oh my god!
And I didn't tell anybody. Like, I didn't tell any of my...
You were still full time?
I was full time. I didn't have enough of a portfolio for me to leave my day job. Like, I had no.
So that is like the moment, right? So I think, how many years ago did we meet for drinks at the Addition?
It was a long time ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah, 3.
So we met, and we were, like, kind of both in the same position where we were, like, doing our things on the side, but still working full time. And we were like, when do we quit our jobs? Yeah. Like, when is that, like, right time that it's like, okay, I've been, like, doing this, it's going well, but, like, can I, like, live on doing this? Like, is this my career?
And like, we also just weren't fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I think the things that we were doing on the side were more nourishing.
It's your passion, yeah.
Yeah.
So for all those people out there that are like, you know, starting their hobbies, not knowing if they should commit to it full time, like how did you know? Like when was like the moment you were like, okay, like this is what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, so I thought it was really important for me to do it on the side for at least a year so that I knew I wasn't leaving a full-time job with benefits and 6 months later I was gonna be like, crap, why did I do that? So I did it for 2 years on the side. Yeah, so
Me too.
Yeah, we were like on the same schedule.
Same schedule, yeah.
And I left when I signed 2 really big projects. I signed a full floor at the Four Seasons in Tribeca.
Damn.
And an apartment, like a 3-bedroom on the Upper East Side in a pre-war building.
So how did you get a contract for like a full floor in Four
It was
Seasons?
timing. It was home polish and timing, and it really set me up.
So they just like saw your profile on Home Polish? Or was it like through a connection?
It was through the matchmaking service of Home Polish.
Oh my god,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I got really lucky. I mean, a lot of it, I think it's like half luck and half grit, you know? Because it's also a lot about timing.
It's also like if you get an opportunity to like actually take advantage of that opportunity properly, because a lot of people can like get things thrown at them, but maybe if you don't take advantage of it, you won't even know what it could lead to.
Right, exactly. So I got these 2 projects and I was like, okay, I feel confident enough now that I can leave my job and I'm
when
secure.
Was that?
That was October 2017. I had just gotten married. It was right after my wedding.
A lot of changes.
Yeah.
Big
So when I
things.
was working my full-time job and at night, I was also planning my wedding. That was hard. Because wedding planning is...
Yeah, I've planned it like our first, like last year. So
yeah.
It was insane.
I know. It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So October 2017, you got 2 big projects, and that's when you were like, peace out, I'm doing this full time.
And my boss at my day job was so great. She was like, I see like your face light up when you talk about interiors. Like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You are so happy whenever you talk about it. Like, this is it. Like, we were friends. And I'm so glad that I left. So then I left. I stayed with Home Polish for a year. And then I decided to go out on my own, which was really scary.
Even scarier.
Yeah, because when you're on your own, like, I felt that Home Polish was a cushion because I had someone doing my invoicing and my billing and all that. And leaving and going on your own full time is really, really scary, as you know.
Yeah.
So I got really lucky that I found...
So what made you do that?
Well, you know, they're no longer around anymore. So it was sort of the beginning of that.
Okay.
It was like the beginning, like the beginning tremors of things were starting to...
and you were like, I'm going to do this forever, so let me just figure it out.
Yeah, and I also felt like at some point I was going to leave no matter what, because I wanted control over my brand and control over my pricing, and I didn't want to give a cut anymore. And I just felt like I had gotten to a point where I felt like I wanted to be me 100%. Especially when my name is on something. Like, I wanted to feel like I had full creative control and full business control. It just sort of felt like the right time. So I left. And I got really lucky that a colleague of mine ended up coming after everything happened there, came to work with me. And she's our operations director, and I literally could not run my business without her. She's incredible.
Oh my god, literally the same thing happened to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, not the same thing, but when I left my full-time job to start the Clear Cut, my first hire was someone that I worked with at my last company, and I literally couldn't do anything without shout out to Sarah.
I mean, it really... I feel like you're only as good as the team that you work with.
100%.
And it's so important to have people that execute the same way you execute and that you trust completely. And Laura runs our business, so thank you, Laura.
Oh my god. So how big is your team now?
4.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what are types of projects that you work on? I know you did like some celebrities' homes. I saw you did Lena Dunham's home.
Yeah.
Like, wait, give me all of the scoop. I want to know everything.
Lena's amazing. She was like incredible to work with. She's the kindest, nicest person ever.
Did you meet her through Audrey from The Wing?
Yeah, so Audrey and Lena are best friends from childhood. So Audrey introduced me to her, which was so nice of her. And Lena was great. She like really respected.
And I saw that it was like what millennial grandma. Or
oh my
something.
God!
What is
Yeah,
that?
How is Beautiful came out with this term to describe like new traditionalism, essentially, which is like kind of like our aesthetic that we work in, and they call it grandmillennial.
Grandmillennial,
which is so funny.
I
but
love it.
It's
That's like the new thing.
It's a new thing. It's catchy, but it's not a new trend. You know,
What is it?
It's sort of traditional design with a twist, right? So, you know, a tufted Chesterfield sofa with a sisal rug, but you've got contemporary art above it. So it's a blend of sort of that Ralph Lauren aesthetic with a more contemporary vibe in terms of accent pieces or art or furniture. It's a nice eclectic blend.
And I saw you did like this beautiful room with like this flowery wallpaper. Like, what was that?
Yeah, that was I did a room in a show house, which was I did 2 show houses.
What's a show house?
So when you do a show house as an interior designer, you they basically they have a space. It's either like a townhouse or a big apartment, and one designer gets to design one room in the space. So there's like 10 designers and 10 rooms, for example, and you get to do whatever you want. And working in a show house is really nice because you don't have to work with the client, so it's a true expression of whatever it is that you want to show to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I did 2 show houses within 3 months.
Oh, wow.
The first year I launched on my own, which was like bonkers, banana crazy.
And do they pay you to do a show house?
No, you pay to be in a show house. So it's a really big investment.
But then you get like people aware of your...
Yeah, and it's really like it's a marketing investment.
Mm-hmm.
But I was not aware of how much of an investment it would be. I kind of knew, but I kind of didn't. But it ended up being really worth it. We ended up in Vogue and Architectural Digest and Domino and a bunch of great...
I know, it was everywhere, this room, and it was so cool.
Thank you. It was really fun to work on.
So how would you describe that vibe? Was that grand millennial?
Kind of. I mean, I like the term new traditional. I mean, grand millennial is funny, but new traditional, grand millennial, they all kind of mean the same thing. It's sort of like a backbone of traditionalism with...
There's a lot of like whimsy too, I feel like.
Yep. There's a lot of prints. There's a lot of...
and you work a lot with wallpaper.
Mm-hmm. And that room at Holiday House, I got to work with Giorgone to create that paper custom for that room. So that was really fun.
It was beautiful, that wallpaper.
Thank you.
And Ariel is launching her own wallpaper line.
Yes, I am.
Tell us about that.
So we have a wallpaper line coming out with Chasing Paper in the summer, which is...
So summer 2020.
Summer 2020, which is crazy exciting. And then we also have a furniture line coming out spring 2020 with Society Social.
So what are the types of things that people can find in both of your new lines?
So the wallpaper line is going to be both removable wallpaper and regular wallpaper. It's got chinoiserie, it has an ikat stripe, it has a jungle toile that's really cute for nurseries. It's got like 10 different patterns, and then each pattern has like 3 colorways.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a nice hefty...
And it's going to be online, or can like people go like feel it?
It'll be on Chasing Paper,
okay.
Which is an e-commerce direct-to-consumer retailer for wallpaper, but you can order samples so you can see it, obviously, before you order it to paste all over your walls. But it's been amazing working with Elizabeth Reese, is the founder of Chasing Paper. She's also a wing woman.
What's a wing woman?
So a wing woman is a member of the wing. But the wing has been such an incredible network of...
And for those of you who don't know what the wing is, and we keep referencing her friend Audrey who started the wing, it's like an all-female kind of like co-working, like...
It's essentially
clubhouse.
Like a perfect way to describe it, I think. And then the networking aspect of it is amazing because there's so many female entrepreneurs that are there that are so interesting, and I've made so many friends through it. It's helped my business, both as a place to physically work from and as a place to meet other people in the industry. So yeah, what they've created is kind of amazing, and they're like expanding like crazy.
I know. They're everywhere now.
I know, it's amazing.
So if you want to join, check it out.
Yeah.
And what about your furniture line? So that's also going to be direct to consumer. What can people find on your furniture line?
So the furniture line is it's a 7 or 8 piece collection. It's basically everything you would find in a living room. So a sofa, 2 coffee tables, side table, a console, And we also made like a cute little tray. So we've got, there's definitely other pieces that I missed. Oh, there's a big comfy chair. There's a bunch of stuff in it that you could make a complete room with, or you could mix and match to,
And it's in your
like
signature new traditional style.
Yes, there's lots of light blue, which is our signature color. We're in talks with a heritage fabric brand, to do a custom colorway for the collection, which would be really exciting if it worked out.
Cool.
Yeah, but working with those two women, Elizabeth, who founded Chasing Paper, and Roxy Tay founded Society Social, has been really exciting, because they're also, they started their own businesses from scratch, and it's been really interesting just to learn from them and collaborate with them.
Amazing. So now when someone, how does your business work now? How do people find you? And I know you travel all around designing rooms. How do you balance everything? How do people find you? How do you how does it work?
Well, balance, I don't know about balance.
And you're a new mom, so
yes.
How do you do all
I have
this?
a 3-month-old.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Balance is not a real thing. I don't know. I was up until 12:30 working last night, and then I woke up at 4 to feed her, so.
Oh my goodness. That always scares me. I'm I don't know, how can I have a baby in the middle of doing the clear cut?
You can. You're just tired, but you can do it if it's something you want.
I'm so tired already.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just your body adapts. It's sort of I don't know. It's very strange. I will say I'm drinking way more coffee than I ever used to, but
you got to.
You have to. But yeah, I don't know. It's
So how are people finding you? Is it word of mouth? Is it your website?
I
know you have a big social media following. Is it through that?
Definitely not as big as yours. But we get a lot of word of mouth of past clients, and those clients are always the best clients because
they trust. Yeah,
they trust you. We get a lot of Instagram inquiries. We get a lot, even just from people who see articles in press. It's sort of a mix.
So is your team have other interior designers as well, or is it just you?
Yeah, so we just expanded. We hired a junior designer, Callan, who's here today. We have an intern every season. We had a senior designer who's just moving to LA with her husband, so she's moving next week. And we have Laura, who's our operations director, and then we have a full-time CPA.
Wow. So if I'm someone that's in Seattle and I want to redesign my living room, and I reach out to you, do you have the team fly out? How does it work?
So we don't do partial projects anymore, which is crazy. I just got to that point where I can't take on single rooms anymore, because it's each project takes a long time.
So it's mostly whole residential.
Yeah, we also do commercial. We just did the Goop offices in New York.
Cool.
Which was really fun. And we did the Maisonette offices.
Wow.
So we do some commercial, but most 95% residential.
So when I move into a bigger office, you'll do the corporate office? Okay.
For sure. What do we do? I mean, we go out there, we see the space, we walk through it with them, we look through inspiration images with the potential client, and we put together a proposal that has inspiration images for every space that we're designing, and then we go over that, and if that all looks good, we get started.
How did you, what about, for full renos? How'd you meet, the right contractors? How do you, find the right, furniture dealers or whatever?
Trial and error. I
really?
mean, it's yeah. I mean, I didn't go to school for interior design, so I'm really learning as I go. I would say just trial and error. I mean, I'm lucky that I've met a few vendors who are absolutely lovely and connect me with the right people, and also networking in the industry. I have a bunch of other designer friends now in the industry who are so incredibly helpful and provide vendor recommendations and subcontractors.
Well, that's good that other people in your industry are helping
it
you
is
instead
the
of
nicest. I have to say, it's the polar opposite of fashion. I find it to be so friendly and collaborative and encouraging, and it's a great industry to be in terms of finding kindred spirits. I think everybody is really on your team, even if they're not on your team.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, it's been so amazing, seeing you grow in the past couple years, and I can't wait till we make it big and we can have you design our offices and residence.
I mean, that would be my dream. Also, just getting to play with all of your jewelry is so fun.
So, And this is a perfect time. So we always ask all of our guests, what is your spark? Like, what ignites you? What, like, keeps you going and have you, like, work till midnight and wake up at 4 and, like, travel around the world? Like, what is, like, that thing that just motivates you?
I just genuinely love what I do. And I think when you really love what you do, it doesn't feel like work and it feels like fun. And even though I was up until 12:30 last night working, I was like genuinely enjoying all of it because I was sourcing for a new project. And every time I start a new project, it's like, you know, it's
How
a
many
fresh
projects
slate.
will you take on at a time?
We have so many right now. It's like 14. Right?
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's like 14.
Because they're very hands-on.
Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, that's why we had to expand because I was getting to a point where I was either going to start making mistakes if I didn't have extra help.
Or you have to, like, turn things down.
Yeah. And I wanted to expand, so you kind of have to invest in the business
100%.
to grow, which you know.
Yeah.
So it's like there's like that crucial point of like when do I hire versus,
Yeah.
you know.
So it's like your motivation is like creating these beautiful spaces for people to enjoy.
Yeah, I almost feel like it's this, interior design is very, it's almost the same as being an artist in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, so when I'm sourcing, I feel like I'm like painting a painting or I'm...
Well, it's cool because then also like people get to like live in this space and like enjoy it and it becomes like theirs. So
well, that's the best part of it. I always say is like I feel like I'm creating like the set for people to live their lives in.
That's a great line.
No, it's true, and I feel like they make their memories in a space that I kind of crafted for them.
Yeah.
So the fact that like you know I get to do kids' rooms and they grow up in these rooms. I mean, it's a special relationship that you have with your clients as an interior designer because it's a very intimate. You know, access to someone's life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, in all of our episodes, we gift our guests a spark ring.
Ooh, that's pretty.
This is a ring that you can wear just as, you know, a reminder.
Fits too. My fat
Perfect. I was like, if it doesn't fit, we can size it for you.
Thank you.
But just like a daily reminder to like keep hustling and going, and that you're part of like this greater, you know, female community that supports
I love it.
you.
It looks pretty with my wedding band.
It does look good.
Yeah. I can't wear any of my rings because my hands are swollen from having a baby.
So you can wear the sparklet.
Yeah, it fits perfectly. It's fabulous.
Until the swelling goes down.
Exactly. I had to get a new gold wedding band. I literally can't fit into any of my rings.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And I know fingers fluctuate so much just on the regular, so I can't imagine like when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Like,
even like if like before I was pregnant, if I ate something, my hands would swell or whatever.
Yeah.
So now it's like that times a million. So.
Permanently.
Yeah. So I'm very happy that this fits. It's really pretty. Thank you.
You're welcome. That. And I know when we always play with some sparkly, we always go from spark to sparkle. And well, since you don't have your ring, I know you liked, you know, tennis bracelets and like fun things. So I just thought we haven't shown a tennis bracelet yet. So
oh my god, that's gorgeous.
Maybe for your push present. This is so this is like really classic, amazing, everyday. Look how like baby mine looks next to it. But this has half carat each round brilliance.
Oh my god, that's gorgeous.
I think it looks great with your bracelet stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god, look how pretty. Hi Ben, if you're listening. I love this.
Yeah. So
I feel like you can't go wrong with a tennis bracelet.
I feel like there are just certain staples in your jewelry collection that everyone just like, those are the things you need to buy first, which are like a good pair of studs, a tennis bracelet, maybe like a nice pendant, and an eternity band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One that fits on your hand.
Yeah.
This is so pretty.
Thank you.
Tennis bracelets. I feel like tennis bracelets, stud,
Tennis bracelets and studs are like, you can't go wrong. You can wear them anywhere, and you can like literally wear them when you're 20 years old or like 90 years old.
Yeah.
They like always look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thanks. So, we always want to finish off by, you know, letting people know where people can follow you, like how people can find you, if they have a huge project and need to hire you, like where should they go? Tell us.
So you can follow us at Ariel Okin. That's just me on Instagram. And that's my name. Ariel Okin. And then our website is arielokin.com. We keep it simple for you.
And people can look out for your furniture launch in spring of 2020 with Society Social. And then Chasing Paper is the wallpaper, and that's in the summer of 2020. So 2020 is going to be a really big year for you.
2020 is a crazy year. There's a baby. There's multiple lines. God. It's wild. It's crazy.
Well, I'm so excited to see it all happening.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to see all the beautiful jewelry that we were looking at today, don't forget to check out our YouTube at The Clear Cut, and of course follow us at The Clear Cut. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Oh my God, this was so fun. I'm so glad I got to see you.